Welcome to another episode of On Her Bookshelf.
Yay!
I'm Julia.
And I'm Christy. I nearly forgot that we were introducing ourselves.
Yes. Something we're working on is remembering that you guys don't know what our names are.
We'll get better at this.
We're trying. We're still new. Like fresh little chickens.
So, this week we're talking about Ensnared by Rebecca Quinn. Excellent book, might I say. Rated at 5 stars.
That's so good. What's the genre of Ensnared?
It is, I wrote it down. So it is essentially post-apocalyptic, reverse harem, romance. It's dark-ish.
Yes.
The way I kind of would describe it is I haven't read anything like it for a long time, like since high school, essentially.
I was going to say, when you said post-apocalyptic, it made me think Hunger Games.
Yeah, well, that's literally what I wrote down. Like, so, kind of dystopian feel. So, Hunger Games, Divergent, Maze Runner, smush them all together, and it's that sort of vibe, but it's its own thing in itself at the same time.
And add a bit of spice.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what it is?
Salt Bay.
It's so we grew up when dystopian romances were just not dystopian romances even, but just dystopian stories in general were just hot.
Yeah.
And yeah, Maze Runner, Hunger Games, Divergent were super popular, all being turned into movies in the young adult literature world. We've just grown up now.
Yeah.
And added a bit of spice and you get Ensnared.
Yeah, that's exactly how to put it.
I haven't read it, but I'm definitely really keen to read it. I already added it to my TBR based on you just saying it was a fantastic book. But I'm really intrigued by the whole post-apocalyptic vibe to it because I haven't read any post-apocalyptic smut.
No, neither. I usually don't stray from fantasy or romance. I don't usually go down any other routes.
I mean, this would still be fantasy in a sense,
but like, you know,
not like fairy dragons and stuff.
Yeah, I don't usually stray from that, but I thought I'd try something new, and I was not disappointed.
That's positive.
I ate this book up. I read it in 2 days, and that is only because I was working.
How many pages?
Just under 500. So
and you read it in 2 days.
Yeah, it was like that. So it's the first in a series, and it literally.
Are there any others out in the series?
Not yet, because it only came out on the 10th of July. So
That's
it's
pretty recent.
Really new.
A month old.
And this is a really new author as well.
Has she done anything else previously?
She had done like a what's it called? Like a joint short story, like I guess a short story book with different authors. Yeah,
okay,
that's all she had done. So this is her first book, her first series.
That's so good,
and it's incredible. And I think she's Australian.
That's promising.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess promising's not the right word. No. It's just nice to have an Australian author considering we're Australian.
I want to be your friend. If you see this, Rebecca Quinn, can I be your friend, please?
Just like hit up Christy's DM. She wants to chat to you.
So yeah, first in the series, there is going to be a second book. She's writing it now.
Do you know how many there's going to be in the series?
Don't know yet.
Okay, that's exciting.
But it's promising, like how she's written it. I feel like it could be like a big series.
Okay, that's cool.
There's heaps of ways it could go. She is releasing chapters for the second book as she goes, but I'm just going to wait.
That's different.
I'm going to wait.
Where is she releasing them on?
Don't know.
Okay.
Maybe a website? I didn't check. I don't want to read them.
Okay. You're avoiding all spoilers at all costs until the next book is 100% released.
Yeah. I don't want to be tempted because she ended that first book on the biggest cliffhanger ever. Ooh. And I'm so mad.
So if you don't like cliffhangers, don't pick this up just yet. But if you're happy to wait, then you'll eat it up in 2 days.
Yeah, essentially. The description that the author's given us is, even if the world did end, 5 men is far too many to handle, isn't it? Since the final war, I've been doing just fine. I have a lovely cave, a darling vegetable patch, forest views, and if loneliness sometimes squeezes my aching heart, well, my books have always kept me company. That is until a pack of hunters chase me from my home and ride into the arms of several rather large, rather brutish ex-army rangers. And those brutes have the nerve to make me the rudest offer I've ever heard. Their protection for my body. The whole thing is absurd, scandalous, perverted even. I mean, just the thought of doing that with 5 men, well, I take the deal. Okay, so it's possible I find them indecently tempting, but these men also have secrets and pasts so fraught with emotion, I'm not sure I can entangle them all. Or whether they'll let me. No, my brutes have made it excruciatingly clear where they think I belong. Beneath them, between them, bent over backwards for them, but certainly not beside them. And I don't think that's going to work for me. This is my favourite part, that this is what drew me in. The Brutes of Bristlebrook is a darkish, post-apocalyptic, steamy reverse harem romance series, meaning Eden, the main character, will end up with 3 or more love interests after I've appropriately obliterated my reader's nerves. She did that.
Yeah.
Expect complex characters, first person, present tense, multiple POVs, in the harem, angst, lots of laughs, and to encounter material that some readers may find sensitive. A full description of which can be found on my author website. So there is triggers. So there are some content warnings with this book. So we've got BDSM, praise, light, degradation. Light degradation.
Degradation.
I don't know. Light primal, sadism, masochism, CNC, and exhibitionism.
Consensual non-consent. That's what CNC is.
Yeah. Patient psychologist relationship after professional relationship has ended. Discussion and fallout of war and drone strikes, the cause of the apocalypse scenario, multiple explicit sex scenes, on-page violence and death, explicit language, survival situations and food shortages, brief initial threat of rape, not by MMCs, very brief suicidal ideation.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot. A lot of tropes as well.
Tell me.
So we've got RH, so reverse harem. We've got BDSM, end of world, repressed FMC guts world rot. Mature characters, so they're all between the ages of 27 and 42.
Okay, that's nice.
So no 18-year-olds.
Good.
Found family.
Oh.
Yeah. Bromance.
Love that.
Fast burn spice, but slow burn romance.
Okay.
Yeah, which I loved. You got your grumpy sunshine, like Grumpy and a Sunshine, characters. Enemies to lovers.
Nice.
Forbidden love.
Ooh.
You've got the deal, which I'll talk more of. You've got alpha hero or heroes, military men. They give her cheese. You will understand if you read the book. That's what I'm saying.
I'm confused.
And hero shit.
Cool.
Lots of hero shit.
Cool.
Male bravado.
Look, definitely from what you said so far, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
And I don't think I can even think of other books that come close to this.
This is
like,
completely different.
You say military, but generally it's in a current present world situation.
Yeah.
It's the whole dystopian thing that's kind of taking me aback, because like I said before, I don't think I've read any dystopian smut.
No.
And when I look at trying to find more smut, it's country, hockey, military, boxing.
Yeah.
Band.
Yeah.
A lot of just current present world
jobs. Whereas this is completely
Dystopian.
different. Like Also, kind of another thing it gives me vibes of is, do you remember the series The 100?
Oh, yes.
Like how, you know, they're placed on Earth, kind of different in a sense as well, but trying to find order in a new world. That's like, you know, you got either rebels, you've got people, you know, fending for each other or themselves.
It's kind of like a survival situation.
Survival of the fittest.
In a post-apocalyptic world where other people trying to survive aren't exactly as civilized as the main group. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Because I've watched the 100. I haven't read the 100. I thoroughly enjoyed the TV series, but again, young adult audience in the sense that the characters that we're following in the 100 is young teenagers, some under 18, some over 18, but then like you're dealing with relationships that are age appropriate to that group as well. And like then we come back to Ensnared and you just keep you're describing like post-apocalyptic, but then it's like reverse harem. There's so much. I'm excited. So is there anything more, I guess, that you want to talk about summary wise, review wise, before we get into spoilers?
So you've got your main characters. So you've got Jasper, who was like a war psychologist.
Okay.
So he would help, you know, the men through in their current situations, like deal with things that they've seen, what's going on, how to deal with it. So you've got Jasper. I love him. Then you've got Lucky. That's his nickname. So his real name is Lucian. He is my favorite character. He is the golden retriever of the group.
Right.
He is sunshine. He is grace. He will punch you in the face. He's so
pure.
I loved his character so deeply. Then you've got Jake. Jake is the grump.
Okay.
He keeps to himself. He's not even a part of this group of friends. He's
with them to survive.
He's just stuck with them. They were all in war.
So like they
together.
were all part of the same like military regiment.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly
all
what you're
connected. He keeps to himself. He's not a part of the group. He literally doesn't even live in the same house. He lives in a shed. He has nothing to do with them essentially. He's just there to survive. You've got Dom, who is also a grump, but more so to the main character.
The female?
Because he's got past experiences with females that he's just like, nah. All girls are the same.
Who else?
Then you've got Bo. Why don't I remember Bo? No, Bo is my favorite as well.
Stop!
He is also sunshine. So him and Dom are best friends. They have shared, all of them have shared before, but Dom and Bo have particularly shared a relationship with another girl before.
So they've had like a polyam relationship.
So they're super close. Bo is the medical doctor of the group. He was a doctor in the military. He is just really pure. He's a sweetie. And then you've got the main FMC, who is Eden. She was a librarian before the war happened. Very quiet, very shy.
Reserved.
You don't really know much about her, really. When everything happened, she hid in a cave. So, like, the plot, without giving away spoilers, is essentially World War III happens. Bombs and stuff, drones, destroy society, destroy the world. The main FMC runs and hides in a cave from it all and ends up surviving for 4 years, living off the grid.
Holy Jesus.
By herself. 4 years.
Wow.
Can you imagine what that would do to someone by themselves for 4 years?
I'd be
with
talking
nothing?
to the mice.
Literally hiding. Can't really go out into open space because there's still drones going around killing people.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But then you've also got hunters, so like the rebels, who will just go around killing for fun.
So, okay. Well, that's what I was a little bit confused about before when you were saying, like, the hunters, and obviously it's post-apocalyptic. Like, are these hunters savages, like people who have lost their humanity, or are they just cruel people taking advantage of a situation?
Both.
Okay.
You know, stealing, killing, raping.
Because there's no law.
Yeah, they can do what they want.
Okay.
And they're just awful.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gives me the ick.
Hence why the content and trigger warnings from before. Yeah.
So one day she's out, I think maybe just collecting food or something. Just she's done well to hide. The hunters find her and chase her for I think 4 days. She is on the run. They get her and then she escapes. Like that's where it's dark. That's when she stumbles onto 3 of the main guys. She stumbles onto Lucky, Bo, and Dom.
Okay.
Dom doesn't want to help her.
Okay.
Dom's just
because
like,
of
fuck that.
his past, all girls are shit mentality.
Whereas Bo and Lucky are like, you can't just leave this poor defenseless woman to keep running. She's going to die. She's been shot as well.
Ooh,
I forgot
okay.
to mention that. They agree to take her back to the camp. They strike a deal. So that's without giving away major spoilers.
They essentially make a deal on you can stay with us for X condition, which we'll dive into soon.
So if you haven't read it, probably stop listening now.
Yes, because I want to know more about this deal.
But
what did you rate this overall?
I rated it 5 stars. But I loved this book.
And spice rating?
Spice rating is like 6 out of 5.
Amazing.
This is very spicy, but also there isn't that many sex scenes in it.
Oh, okay.
Out of the 500 pages, there's a lot of building, like the world, diving into characters' personalities, because there's so many main characters. There's a lot of personalities. There's a lot of conflict.
And it reads from multiple perspectives, or just hers?
It does. It's mainly hers, but it does dive into a few of the others.
Yeah. Is it fast-paced?
Yes. Very fast-paced.
Cool.
You're not bored at all, which is good, which is surprising.
Okay, well, look, I'm convinced. I basically put this book on my TBR as soon as you finished reading it.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about a post-apocalyptic smut book.
Yeah.
Especially a reverse harem post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued. It's on my TBR. I will read it. But let's talk spoiler stuff now.
Okay.
I need to know about this deal.
So the deal, it's so crude.
No, let's go. Come on.
The deal they strike is essentially, we will take you back to the camp. We will get you away from these hunters for your body. They're lonely men. Before the world ended, they would all go to a sex club together and participate in activities.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is where the consensual non-consent comes into play, I guess, with this deal, or
yeah, like she's very proper, I guess. She doesn't want to really do this, but
she's vanilla.
Yeah, she had a husband.
Oh, okay.
Before,
and I take it he died.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was also in the army. But from the book, he was a cunt.
Oh, okay.
He was awful.
So I guess with their relationships forming with like these 4 different men, does she have reserves about the fact that she had a husband?
Yeah, and because she had only been with him.
Oh, only ever one partner.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Super vanilla.
So we've gone from one partner to what, 5?
5.
Holy shit.
Yeah. so she doesn't know a lot.
Okay, so I think the thing that I really want to know next is she obviously says yes to this deal because she wants to stay alive. How does the spice kick up then?
Okay, so they get her away. They kill the hunters.
Yeah.
They take her back. She's been shot, I think, in the arm, and she hurts her ankle or something. Like, she's
Injured.
in a mess. They fix her up. Bring her back to, they've got their own camp, essentially. Like, it was designed for if the world went to shit.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, like, it's got everything they need to self-sustain.
Essentially, somebody had, like, a zombie apocalypse, like, bunker.
Yeah, literally.
But instead of zombies, they've got killer drones.
Yeah, and, yeah, hunters that want to take it and destroy.
I like that.
They take her back to the camp, get her, situated, give her a room, shower, food, introduce the others. And they discuss the deal and that they would have a rotating calendar for the week.
Okay. So it doesn't start off as like group play. It starts off as
it kind of does, because they're all sitting around talking.
They all want her.
Dom doesn't want a bar of it.
Yeah.
He's literally sitting there reading a book. Like, I don't fucking care if she dies for all I care. Jake is a dick. But he's also just like, yeah, I'm gonna get laid. But I'm not gonna be gentle, essentially. Like, I don't care if you've never had another partner.
Holy shit.
This is what you're in for. He is very rough.
Holy shit.
Yeah. The way it was written, you don't know if it's going to be consensual with him, but it is.
Okay.
In the end, he ends up essentially bringing out another side of her.
Okay.
Opening her up to a whole new world. He's a bit of a dom, essentially.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah.
Is very authoritative.
Yeah.
Okay, how does the first sex scene play out?
So, essentially, she's sitting on the couch. They're all talking. Lucky is playing a video game on the floor. Bo is on one side. Jasper is on the other. And they essentially just play with her.
Okay.
Those three.
Okay.
While Dom is just like, I'm not listening. I'm reading my book.
Okay. So
they're all there. And
all the guys.
Jake's watching, like
stubborn and stern, like, I'm not getting involved in this either.
Yeah.
And instead of doing like private and like taking her away, they're just like, fuck it, we're doing this here. You guys can stay and join, or you can leave.
Yeah. But also to essentially show, like, Bo and Lucky and Jasper all see that maybe there's more to her. Like, maybe she's not just, prim proper librarian.
Okay. So they're
She
trying
just needs
to like
bring
loosen
her out
her
of
up.
her shell.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to feel like loosen her up is not the right word. But bring her out of her shell, I think, works a lot nicer.
That happens. And then they make the calendar, essentially. Kind of like drawing names out of a hat, really.
Yeah.
And the first person is Jake.
Ooh. Because he was the one that was like,
he's a real dick.
I'm going to join in, but I'm not going to be nice.
Yeah, and he's not really in for the sharing.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to take her back to my shed and fuck her.
Okay.
Really rough, but she likes it.
And does that take her by surprise that she likes it? Does she try and, like, even though she's agreed to this deal, try and, like, talk her way out of it? Or because it's been 4 years since she's touched a man as well, she's also kind of into it?
Yeah, and they're all hot, like.
Okay.
And because he's so rough, he actually leaves bruises.
Ooh.
And she stays the night. She
stays the night in his shed?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a grumpy sunshine. Like, you know how he's grumpy, but he's actually a sweetheart inside. He just doesn't want to show it. Because a lot of shit has happened to him in his past. So, like, they all have such things have happened to them. They
Yeah.
all have a reason for why they are
Yeah.
the person they are. But
Yeah.
she goes,
Is that like really well explained
Yeah.
in the books?
yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah, all of their personalities, and you can also tell it's going to go dive into it more
Okay.
in the next book, like
Because this is going to be a
why
series.
they are the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
She goes up to the house, like, the walk of shame,
Yes.
and I think it's Dom that notices she's covered in bruises,
And
there's a fight. They all gang up on Jake, and like Dom starts beating him up, like, how could you do that to her?
Is that because they think that he's purposely been violent towards her?
Yeah.
I like that.
And she ends up jumping.
Oh, wait. Can I just be clear? I don't like the whole domestic violence in their headspace. I like that they're defending her honor about this girl they've only just met. And the deal with her is, we're going to have sex with you.
Yeah. And even Dom to be like, even though he doesn't care if she dies, he clearly does care.
Yep.
And she obviously steps in and is like, no, like, I asked for it. Like,
okay.
We just got a bit rough.
Okay.
Like, and then they start to notice he's covered in scratches.
Oh.
And yeah.
I like.
Yeah.
What is the main conflict of the book?
There's a lot.
In the sense of...
So you've got conflict between Jake and everyone else.
Yeah.
You've got conflict in the sense of Jasper and Lucky. That's the whole psychologist-patient sort of vibe. Like, he used to be Jasper's patient.
Are they the two males?
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's... Nothing happens, but kind of happens.
Is that the slow burn of it as well?
Yeah, that's what is the most frustrating part, because Jasper is very... Picture Jasper in Twilight.
I am. As soon as you said Jasper, it's all I can think of.
Like, very... He doesn't talk much. Also, Imari sort of vibes, I guess. Doesn't talk much, but he will psychoanalyze everything.
Okay.
He is also the sadist.
Okay. Now, when you say sadist, does that come out in the bedroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Tell me more.
With Lucky.
So they
Here
talk
I was
about
thinking it was going to be with her. With her as well, but with Lucky first.
Lucky first, because they've all been friends for years. So there's been times where Jasper talks about... Yeah?
Okay, I gotta know. It's been 4 years since this apocalypse, right? Have they, I guess, had any other sexual partners during this time?
Yes.
Or have they been doing with each other?
No.
Okay.
They had a girl.
Yep.
But not all of them. It was Dom and Bo. And... Yeah, it was just Dom and Bo. But she left the group with another guy.
Ooh.
That's why Dom is so like...
Fuck girls.
I hate women.
Okay.
But also it hurt Bo as well, because when she was there, she messed with them and was like to Dom, you can't be friends with Bo. He can't be involved in the group anymore.
So she was trying to be really controlling and get in the way of like
their whereas friendship. Dom and Bo were always just like, if we ever found someone we would share, you know, we'd be a unit. And Dom is so infatuated with this girl that he lets a wedge come between them. But then she leaves for another guy anyway.
Oh, okay. I understand his shit kind of.
It really affects the whole group dynamic. And then you've got, so Jasper, who doesn't want to face that he obviously wants more with Lucky or Lucian. You've got Lucky, who is head over heels in love with Jasper. You've then got the conflict in the sense of the hunters trying to find this camp and take it for themselves.
And do they at all?
There is like a fight.
Yeah.
They find out where they are, what happens in like the last couple of chapters.
Okay. So I'm really intrigued by obviously this whole story. It sounds like a lot happens, but it also sounds like it's well written to the extent that the world is developed beautifully along with the character backgrounds and the world building. How does it end?
Biggest cliffhanger in the whole fucking universe. So the hunters find out where they are, they attack, but it is while Bo, Dom and Eden are out. So the security cameras stop working. So they go to where they were last seen to find out why. It was all a trick to separate the group so they could attack. So they attack while Jake, Jasper and Lucky are there. Nobody knew that Eden left either. She left to go help. She wrote notes for the other 3 guys that stayed behind saying, I'm going to hang with one, I'm going to hang with the other, to trick them to leave, to prove that she is of worth to the group, essentially.
So she's left and nobody knows that she's left.
Yeah.
Their camp gets attacked.
Yeah. They figure out that she's left, and Dom and Bo essentially find her because she's sneaking. She thinks she's sneaking. And they're like, you're a fucking idiot. Bo almost shoots her, like, because they think it's the enemy. Whole scene unfolds. Dom finally gives in. They have a group activity. And then they figure out that they were tricked and they race back.
Because they don't realise the camp's been attacked yet.
Yeah. But when they get back, the shed's on fire. Nobody knows where Jake is. They see Lucky get shot. Jasper is hiding while chaos infuses, trying to help Lucky, but he's there. Nobody knows if he's alive. So much happens.
And it just ends?
No. And then they find Lucky has a stash of weapons. They find a bazooka.
Nice.
Eden gets it for them because she knows where the stash is, because Lucky likes to play pranks. He had stolen the bazooka from Dom's bedroom and hid it.
Okay.
Nobody knows where the stash is. This is important, remember this. Eden brings the bazooka to Dom. Dom shoots it but says go get more weaponry. She runs back to the stash. Nobody knows where she went. He shoots bazooka, destroys all of the people, the bad people.
All the hunters.
Yeah, nobody knows if Lucien is alive. What happens?
I'm on like the edge of my seat.
Yeah, it's insane. And then they finally get Lucky. They bring him up to the house. He is like, they don't think he's alive. Like he is fucked. Luckily, Bo is a doctor. Lucky ends up being okay. Nobody knows where Eden is. The ending is literally the main hunter dude kidnaps Eden. That's the end of the book.
Holy shit. Wow.
I cried. I sobbed.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm like, I was already convinced to read this before, but I feel like I just want to be like, okay, this podcast is done. Thanks, see yous. I'm gonna go read this.
Yeah, I want to go read it again. My heart is like pumping just talking about it. Like I'm just, the adrenaline in my body right now. It's just fucking insane.
That's exciting. Okay, this sounds like an absolutely thrilling read.
But it's also, it has its funny moments as well. So Lucky is hilarious. He plays pranks on the group. He just loves to mess around. And he brings out the fun side of Eden. So there is the night that he gets her, they play Twister.
Okay.
And they get naked and they perform activities. But it's funny. It's cute. Jasper shuts her down.
Okay.
because
So does she try and like, she wants Jasper and
Yeah.
Jasper's like, no.
because he's just so conflicted about what's going on with his head because of, you know, the sadism, masochism. He's clearly in love with Lucky and doesn't want to admit it. And he doesn't want to hurt poor Eden. Like, it's
love this.
It
really sounds like Rebecca Quinn has done a fantastic, debut?
Yeah,
book.
She blew my mind.
Amazing.
What else is there? I feel like there is just more that I want to talk about. There's just so much that happens.
Just read it.
Just please read this book so I can talk about it with someone. Can you please read this book so I can talk about it more?
Let's wrap this up.
Oh.
I'm convinced. I need to go read this book right
Yeah.
now so we can chat further about it. I guess if you guys have read it, please reach out because Christy needs someone to talk to about it right now. But I'm convinced. It sounds like it's a fantastic read. Honestly, it's the whole post-apocalyptic reverse harem for me.
Yeah.
And this sounds like there's going to be drama in there that's going to keep me just
drama.
on the edge of my seat wanting more.
Like, with that many main characters and all of their different personalities, there's a lot. There's so much more that I could talk about. Like, there's a lot that happens. There's a lot that leads up to the ending that you know will be continued in the second book.
That's promising.
So many things could happen. I'm just so excited.
I guess if you've listened this far, thanks for listening. Yeah, reach out to us on Instagram, reach out to us on TikTok if you want to chat more. Christy is ready to have these conversations. I know I'm going to be getting myself a copy of this book and diving into it because I'm convinced. But yeah, you can find us on her bookshelf pod. I'll link it in the show notes below. But yeah, huge thank you. We can't wait to talk to you guys again next week. Bye.